Hello everybody and welcome back to Sweet and Sour Soccer, and I've got a special video for you guys today. We haven't done one of these type of videos actually in a while, but we're going to be looking at a Leicester versus Nottingham Forest combined 11 because this weekend is going to be full of derbies. Of course, we've got the North London derby, we've obviously got the Manchester derby, and of course this one not actually on the weekend, but Monday night sees Leicester take on Forest for the first time in the top flight since I believe 1998-99 season. It's been a long time, put it that way. Guys, I am going to jump into the video, but as always, please do me a favour, hit that like button and also subscribe to the channel. And let me know, guys, because obviously those that watch me regularly know I usually use a green screen. Do you prefer this setting? Do you prefer that to the green screen? Must be honest, I don't use it often because, as you guys can probably see, I made the stupid mistake of choosing the wrong paint for cutting in, which I do need to amend. But anyway, let's jump back into why you guys are here. Let's talk about, obviously, Nottingham Forest, Leicester City combined 11. And we're going to jump straight in and talk about the goalkeeper situation, which for me, I've got to be quite honest, it was a pretty easy pick, and I've gone for Henderson. And I don't think even Leicester City fans would be too angry about that. Henderson obviously coming on loan from Man United. Look, he's conceded a lot of goals, but it's not really been massively his fault. The same can't be said for Ward. He's made several mistakes. And if I was Leicester City as well, I'd really be thinking about giving Iverson a go. Of course, the backup keeper at the moment had a superb season on loan last season at Preston North End. And you do just wonder, should they maybe change up what's been happening in goal? But at the moment, I am going to pick Henderson in this combined 11. And guys, this combined 11 is going to be based on the here and now. So not whether a player was great 5 years ago, or this is going to be based on if I had to pick that team today and I've got both squads, both dressing rooms, these are my starting 11. So let's obviously move on to the defence, which is going to be a bit of a sticky situation for both because, sorry, Leicester fans and Forest fans, you guys have both shipped a lot of goals in this season so far. But we're going to start with the centre-backs. And the one centre-back for me, which was pretty an easy choice, to be honest, is Evans, of course. I think, you know, his leadership and also, of course, his experience is something you would really need in this combined 11, especially when looking at the difficulties that both teams have faced defensively, of course, which he is part of. But I think he, you know, a very solid player in that defensive lineup. And I think maybe with a better partnership, Leicester will start conceding less because of having him in the team. Now, the second choice centre-back actually wasn't an easy one to make, to be honest, because it got kind of, no offence to you guys, but it was kind of a best of a bad bunch so far this season. Of course, one player that I did consider was the new signing that Leicester have made. It's pronounced Faes, F-A-E-S. Obviously, I haven't got the exact pronunciation, guys, but you guys will know who I'm on about. The new signing for Leicester, the centre-back. It could be a very good pairing eventually, but we haven't seen a lot of him. So for that reason, I haven't picked him. Obviously, from a Leicester side as well, Sanucci was another guy that I was thinking of. Of course, very highly regarded a few seasons back, but the last season or so, the only thing you could really say about him is, you know, and seeing much of him really is his comparisons looking like Lord Farquhar from Shrek. So I haven't gone with him either. I've actually gone with Scott McKenna. Of course, another leadership quality in that centre-back pairing. I think maybe both of those as a pairing could actually make a very good combination. So that's why I've gone for this pairing. I do think both of these defences need to obviously stop conceding, basically. Let's move on, though, to the right back position. And I think this was an interesting one because you've got two quite young right backs, of course, James Justin coming up against Nico Williams. Both of them, I think, are going to become very talented footballers. And I think they're both just going to get better and better. Out of the two, though, I have gone for Justin. I think, obviously, we've seen him play a lot more within the Premier League. And, of course, I do think at the moment he's probably just a bit further on in his progression as a player at the moment. I think Nico Williams is a very good player, though. I think he will obviously be someone that just keeps on improving, like both of these. And I think they will both, as they obviously age, end up very good Premier League footballers. But I just think at the moment, Justin is a bit further down that line in terms of his progression. So let's also speak about the other side, because that wasn't an easy choice either. Of course, Leicester have used a few options in this, but obviously the one that's been playing the last couple of games in particular is Luke Thomas, yet again, another young defender. Interestingly, I think, again, he's going to be another one that's really going to progress and get better. But he wasn't my choice. I've actually gone for Lodi from Nottingham Forest. Of course, it's interesting because, as we know, Forest play 5 at the back. But for context, guys, I have gone for a 4-3-3, make it a bit more interesting than just going for a 5 at the back. And that's why Lodi would be my left-back choice. I think he's obviously come in on loan. It was towards the end of the basically the transfer window, wasn't it? So, you know, I just feel that maybe he's come with a lot expected of him. Maybe hasn't quite lived up to that yet, but it is very, very early days. So let's move on to the midfield. And I think the one person that you've got to obviously put in without a doubt is the Leicester player, Tielemans. I think obviously he was a player that was tipped to get a move away from Leicester this season. But it does look that either he'll get a January move maybe, or Leicester might just, you know, run down his contract. It does look like he'll eventually be leaving Leicester at the end of the season. Of course, he was linked with some pretty big clubs over the summer. One of those was Arsenal, that he was heavily linked to. But I think he is, you know, a very good player. I think he adds a lot to that Leicester City team. And although maybe not hitting his usual form so far this season, I think he's a player that you've got to have in this combined 11. Now, the other centre mid pairing, because I'm going to play 2 centre mids and an attacking mid. I'm going to probably get some abuse for this, but I've gone for a Forest player. And it's not a Forest player that's even been starting. I've actually gone for Lewis O'Brien. Now, guys, before you turn off the video or just throw absolute pelters at me for not obviously picking, I think maybe if you're a Leicester fan, you're thinking, what about Ndidi? I don't think Ndidi has been maybe that superb this season, to be honest. But the reason I've picked O'Brien is purely just because I think when he has come on for Forest, he has made such a difference. And I watched a lot of him last season for Huddersfield. The way that he moves the ball, he can defend, he can attack, he can get the play moving on, he can progress play quite quickly and really help to unlock that, you know, a defence, and also get the ball moving quickly to the attacking areas. So for me, I really do like Lewis O'Brien, and he hasn't been one that Steve Cooper's been choosing so far this season. But I think if Forest are going to turn around their success, he's one that definitely needs to start for Nottingham Forest for me. So yeah, I've gone for Lewis O'Brien. Let's move on to, let's go for the wingers next. And I've maybe cheated a little bit here with this right wing position, if I'm being completely honest. But at the same time, I think the player that I'm going to choose, a lot of people would have classed him as an attacking mid. But for Leicester this season, Brendan Rodgers has been using him more as a right winger. I have gone for, obviously, James Maddison. I think he's a player that I'm very surprised still hasn't got an England call-up. And he can play in both positions, can't he? He can play as an attacking midfielder. He can play out on the wing. I'm still very confused why Southgate isn't calling him up. I think it's a bit of an obvious one, but he should be in the team. I really do think he should be in the England team, but he had to be in this combined 11. I mean, I don't really need to advertise James Maddison much, do I, to probably either sets of fan bases. I'd be surprised that if we even had Forest fans disagreeing with James Maddison being within this combined 11. I just think he's an absolute class act, and he can just do everything, can't he? He can score goals, he can assist, he's got good passing ranges, he's got good crossing ability. There's nothing really missing from his complete game, to be honest. So he has been my right wing choice. Let's go across to the left wing now. This was an interesting one because there was quite a bit of choice. Obviously, you've got Harvey Barnes for Leicester, and then there was a whole host of Forest players you could have picked from here. Brennan Johnson, who can play there. You've got Morgan Gibbs-White that can play there. You've also got, you've obviously got Lingard that could potentially play there as well. My choice, though, is I have gone for Harvey Barnes. Of course, at the moment, he's only got 1 goal in all competitions. But having said that, I do think he is another player that would have to be in this combined 11. 5 appearances so far in the Premier League and the 1 goal. Maybe not up to his usual form. But look, at the moment, both these teams sit 19th and 20th in the Premier League at the moment. So at the end of the day, it's not like either team are in their usual form. I really do like Harvey Barnes. I think he is a really good player when he does hit form. I think he, you know, on his day, he can do something spectacular as well. So that's the reason that I would put him in my starting 11 for this combined 11. And then let's go to the attacking mid position. Now, this was, again, another, not an easy pick. And to be honest, it was made more difficult to start with when I was debating between the player I have picked and obviously Maddison. And to be honest, I would have gone with Maddison if he had to play as that attacking mid position. But I did do something smart, well, I believe, in putting him out on the right. And I think if I had to go for an attacking mid option, it would be a Forest player. Now, again, there's 3 players I could pick here because Lingard, obviously Lingard could play in that position. Brennan Johnson can play in that position. And Morgan Gibbs-White can also play in that position. But I've actually gone for the homegrown Forest player. I have gone for Brennan Johnson. Now, Brennan Johnson has also been playing as, you know, the lone striker, or like in a false 9 position, more so to speak, at points this season. I really don't think that's his best position, if I'm being honest. And I think Cooper, again, needs to play him where he's best. I think he needs to play him in that attacking mid position if I was him, or maybe out on the wing. He can also play out on the right wing, isn't it? Can he as well? So, you know, kind of take your pick, really, of Johnson or Maddison, which one you put out there, or they could interchange in the match, which would actually make some good chemistry and good flowing football here. See, thinking ahead. But I think he's just a young, raw talent. I love how he, you know, he's fearless in the way that he plays. He's not afraid to take players on. And there's been a couple of questions, maybe more from people outside of the Forest fan base, wondering whether he's going to be up to the Premier League standard. But I think so far, 2 goals from 7 games. I think that's a really good return from such a young player, and he would be in my combined 11, which brings me on to probably the hardest one of them all, because there is so many things to debate here. The striker position. And guys, I think you're all going to hate me. I think both sides are probably going to be annoyed at my pick, and I'm going to have to do a lot of explaining here for why I have picked this player. But there was a lot of choice, wasn't there, when you consider the attacking options? You've got Dennis for Forest, for example. You've got our Nui that you could choose. You could have even put Brennan Johnson there. So there's 3 choices there. You then go over to Leicester. You've got Vardy. You've got Daka. You've got Iheanacho. I think maybe Vardy will be more of an impact sub this year. I think maybe his days of starting, or at least starting regularly, have perhaps gone. So I knocked him off from the list for that reason. And then obviously I've put Brennan Johnson in the attacking mid position, so that gets rid of him. Now, Dennis is a player that I really liked. I thought he was absolutely superb for Watford last season. But then at the same time, I had to think about the fact that we've not actually seen him in this Nottingham Forest team much yet. I think Forest fans are calling for him to, you know, get the start, to be honest, and seeing a bit more of him. But for that reason, I didn't go for Dennis either, which left me with 3 players: Awanui, Iheanacho, and Daka. Now, this was not an easy choice at all, to be honest. And if I'm being completely honest, it just came down to the type of striker that I really enjoy. And I think I'm a bit old-fashioned. I like that big frame, tall striker, which has probably given away my choice. And I'm probably going to get a lot of angry Leicester fans at me now, and maybe even Forest fans going, why have you picked him? I've gone for now Awanui. I really like the look of him. 2 goals already so far this season. And that's not the only reason that I didn't pick Daka and I didn't pick Iheanacho as well. My thing with Daka and Iheanacho, I really like both of them. I think they're both great strikers. But I'm hoping Leicester fans will understand what I'm saying here because of the formation. I think they're a great pairing. I would really like to see Brendan Rodgers go and play 2 up front, which he did do a couple of games ago with Daka and Iheanacho both playing. And both actually got a goal, didn't they? If both got on the score sheet that day, I think they would make a really good partnership if Brendan Rodgers could get them playing in a 2. I think the strikers that play much better in a 2 when they've got another striker to play off. And I think for that reason, that's why I've gone for Awanui. I do think obviously already he's showed that he can, you know, the 2 goals that he's got, he can play as an alone striker. He's got that big frame. So he's got that. I don't know. I suppose I'm quite old-fashioned. I like a tall striker that you can whip balls into, the old crouch kind of player. So I have gone for Awanui. I'm hoping I've at least justified my explanation why. But guys, that is my combined 11. If I just run through it once more, let me know where I went right. And also do let me know where I've gone wrong, because I reckon there's going to be a few of my picks that's going to divide some opinion in certain places. But guys, let me know what you would have gone for. What is your combined 11? And obviously be fair as well. If you're a Leicester fan, I don't just want to see a full team of Leicester players. Same goes for you Forest fans as well. But my combined 11 is, I'll read it off once more. We've got Henderson in goal. We've then got the 2 centre-backs of Evans and McKenna. We've then gone for James, Justin and Loddy as our wing-backs. We've then gone for a 3-man midfield of Tielemans and O'Brien, and then with Brennan Johnson sitting in front of those 2. And then finally, to finish it off, we've then gone for the front 3, which will be James Maddison out on that right-hand side, Harvey Barnes out on that left-hand side, and finally, probably the most controversial choice of all, Awanui, the man that would be there to head in those balls. But guys, let me know your thoughts. Are you looking forward to this game? Of course you are. But what are your score predictions for this one as well? And if you have enjoyed the video and don't hate me too much, please do hit that like button and please do subscribe to the channel as well. And hopefully we'll catch you on another video. Take care. Goodbye.